and welcome to another exciting week of Technology Tuesday. I'm your host, Greg Russell, here with my partner, Mr. Jerry Franklin Poe. I'd like to thank you guys for tuning in and joining us for another episode. Today, we got ChatGPT 5, all the talk about what it is not, whether it's really exciting, big news, or it's a big disappointment. Whichever side of the fence you are on, we're going to talk about it and share some things about it that you need to know. So, what we're going to do is we want you guys to let us know where you're tuning in from and let us know if you are new or if you are a regular viewer of the show. So, with that, let us know where you guys are tuning in from, and we will get started right now.
All right. It's Technology Tuesday, and we're all in the building today. That's right, everybody's here. So, Greg, I know there's a lot been going on with the technologies and a lot of changes. I've been getting email updates about all types of things happening. And I even know there's some special things happening on AppSumo. I don't know if we're going to talk about that, but like if you're not a AppSumo checker, you might want to be checking up with AppSumo because I think they got some special things happening this week.
Yeah, man. There's lots of changes in technology. There's lots of changes in the air. It's back to school time. I'm dealing with back to school over here in this household, and I think you've been dealing with some of that too. So, what's been going
Yep.
on your side of the woods?
Well, school start. Well, it depends on what school we're talking about. Like, so moving day for the colleges, that's already been gone and happening and sweated out, you know. Um, elevators, steps, you know what I mean? That process doesn't get any easier. I mean, it is a little bit better now. Like, I don't remember in my move-in time where they had volunteers on campus. Like, you would just on your own, like, yo, just grab your stuff and take it up those steps. But now they got student volunteers to help you when it comes to the college move in, which makes it a little bit easier. But my role in the move in is just in and out. Like I take the heavy stuff and then I leave because I'm not decorating everybody's room. So like y'all do that decoration stuff
That's
and that thing like I'm like here's the refrigerator. I mean when we plug it in and then I'm like all right, it was nice seeing you. Have a great semester.
that's nice. That's nice. Yeah, man. I got a nephew who is headed to Morehouse. So
Okay, the
they're
house.
they're they're moving in this week, and that's what's going on. So shout out to my nephew Alexander and all his continued success there with the move in and the big move from Houston, Texas. And yeah, man. So there's just lots of change in the air everywhere. This is that time of season where summer is on its way out, fall is on its way in. And there's just changes in the air, and the same thing with the technology. The things are changing, markets are changing, things are shifting. So for me, I've been experiencing it and hearing about it from my clients, and it's just that time for most of us where there's just some change in the air. And so with that, there is this anticipation of Chat GPT 5. So before we talk about that, let's talk about what was for those of you who are not up to date, which I'm pretty sure most of you guys are if you're tuning in to Technology Tuesday. So Jerry, with pre 5, there were these different models, right? So when you go into ChatGPT, you could choose which model. And the idea behind this was if you needed a model that was more geared to write code, you could select one of those models. If you needed a model that could answer questions, you choose that model. If you needed a model that would be very good at doing deep research, there was a model for that. And so, for most of us, we knew there were the different models and they had the little descriptions, but for most of us, we didn't know really what was the big difference. You'd select it and you'd ask put in your prompt and see what you'd get. But for many of us, we didn't really know what the big difference was. And so what happened was with 5.0, I'm sorry, just 5, that's what it's called. It's called ChatGPT 5. They got rid of all the different models and you only have one model. And what it does was when you put in your input, you put in your prompt, or you ask your questions, it will determine on the back end what it needs to do without you having to be have selected a specific model. So that is the, at the core of it, the main change. But there's some stuff that is going on with it as well. So that's the main change. That's where it came from, and that's kind of what the this big anticipation release was. And also there have been competing. This is like the race now. These companies like OpenAI and uh, Gemini and Grok, and all of them are trying to capture the market. So there's this race to be the best, and five was a much anticipated release for Chat GPT. And before I dive into what happened when it was released, I would like to hear your thoughts on it or things you've heard from your side when it comes to Chat GPT.
Um, that's a great question. Like for me, it's just things are just getting better and getting faster. Um, it's weird to a certain extent because it doesn't seem like it was that long ago when we all started having this conversation and we were like quote unquote on the cutting edge. Like, hey, there's this new thing called OpenAI, and now there's so many different derivatives and so many different changes, and the changes are happening faster and faster. That's for me is like, oh, it's just you can't get stuck with one thing because you blink and something has changed.
Yes. Yes, and that is happening for a lot of software that I use and a lot of my clients use as well. Things are changing very, very fast. Updates are happening in some of the platforms daily, Monday through Friday, every single day. There's multiple updates. And if you don't keep up with it, you will be, it's just not going to be the same. When you decide to use it the same way you've been using it for the past few months, it'll definitely change on you. So one of the things that happened with this release, this anticipated release, was we kind of got used to being able to experience a major change when a new release came out when it came to the Chat GPT. And they released it. And what happened was there were some things on the back end that weren't turned on or right. So what people were getting for their responses seemed to be less than, lower than what they were experiencing. So here it is, Jerry. Everyone's anticipating better, and they get the new release and they put in stuff and they get back worse. And so for a lot of people, they weren't happy with that. But a lot of times people don't wait to see what was really going on. And long story short, there were several things on the back end that weren't turned on or set up properly when they released it. So the responses weren't really what they wanted. It wasn't they weren't really experiencing the 5.0 yet. So that has been fixed, but like anything, when it first comes out, that your kind of first impression is kind of what people are experiencing. So a lot of people were complaining, and they've had these experiences in the past with companies like Facebook, who would change the, I don't know if you remember years ago when they changed the UI, the look of how Facebook was, and everybody was like, "Go back to the old," and everybody was posting, "Go back to the old. We don't like this. Go back to the old," and nobody did it. So here now with Chat GPT, they had this anticipated 5.0 release, and they weren't you using it, and you're getting not the type of response that you was, and not a better response. And so again, it seemed like this technology was leaving them with something that they didn't want. However, those things were turned back on, and it was a really, really good release for those who understood it is giving you a much better response now. Also, with that, is some of the things that have got really, really changed and really, really updated was the coding side of it. So if you were putting in prompts and writing code or having things created with code, you saw a much improved uh, output from ChatGPT with the 5.0 release. If you're not doing that, some of the other updates were really good, but they weren't as dramatic as the one with the code. So now with ChatGPT, you can have it write code. If for those of us who aren't really coders, there are some simple things you could do. If you ever come across a calculator on the internet, like a real estate calculator or some sort of calculator, you can then ask ChatGPT to create one, and it will create it for you. Then you could ask it to take it and package it in a WordPress plugin, and now you could take that and install it on your WordPress site, and now you have a calendar that you was able to a calculator that you was able to create with ChatGPT as an example of something very basic or similar you can do. So that is kind of what happened with this new release of ChatGPT, the 5.0. Jerry, have you been playing with or trying the 5.0 yet?
Well, yes and no. Like I have a different platform that I use. I use Merlin more
Okay.
so now than everything else. And Merlin has an option where it's like a wild card. It goes through and it picks the best one. You like it switches. Like should it be 5.0? Should it be cloud? Like it picks what's the best
Okay.
based on what you're asking it to do. It decides which AI model to use.
Okay. Cool. So that's another thing too. A lot of software that connects and uses ChatGPT, depending on what it's used for, it may be better or not as good depending on what it's used for. So I know some of the software and services that I use, they let us know, hey, we're not going to be adding 5.0 just yet. Um, and they said because, and I thought this was smart, the ones that are waiting, they said sometimes there are changes that we don't know how it's going to affect our our integration with our service. And anytime you release something new out into the public like that, there are you know bugs and workarounds that people need to find. And if you wait a couple weeks, all those things will be worked out before you add it into the software. So some of them aren't adding the new version into the software yet. And they have at least notified us. They said their reasoning why. They said they will in a couple weeks, but we're not adding it just yet until some of the things get worked out. And I think that's just smart um, for some companies to do. So with that, I do have a resource, Jerry, that I do want to share. And because the other thing too, before I share the resource, when we talk about speed and the challenge of things changing so fast with training, there's so many people who've created training on ChatGPT and how you do it. And now with those different, with it just being five and uh, you can't really go back to the other ones. And at least I don't know, Jerry, do you know if you can go back to the older versions? I don't think you can.
I'm
Um,
not sure.
yeah, I don't think you can. At least not for the regular one. I don't know if you have the API version, which you can do there, but at least for the regular one, I don't believe so. And if I'm wrong, just let me know, and I will I will correct it. But I don't think you can. With that, if with things changing so fast, for those who've created training based on the older versions of ChatGPT, some of those are now outdated if it dealt with specific models. The other thing that is actually good is that if you've trained and worked with your ChatGPT, even with the update, all the chats that you have are still there. All the things that you've set up for it to know your company and your brand are still there. So that's something that I had to verify and check, and I was excited to hear about. With that, I want to share a resource with this new Chat GPT. They have their own training that you can get right from with inside of it, and most people may not know, but it is a cookbook. So it is cookbook.openai.com. And I'm going to move this over so I can share it with you guys. All right, let me know if you see that, Jerry.
Yep, you got it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so it's cookbook.openai, and here you can find training on agents, on multi-model, on text, on guardrails, and so you can go here and get this free training that is right in here uh, for this new ChatGPT 5. So lots of information. There's lots of people talking about it, but if you want to find out exactly what's going on, you can come right in here and get training right from them. They talk about the prompting guide, which you can grab right here, and it's all right in there. And that URL again is cookbook.openai.com. Cool. All right, man. So that's the resource I had and I wanted to share. You mentioned something about oh man, what was the site you said we should be checking out now? AppSumo. Sorry,
AppSumo.
I had
You
a
talking about
brain freeze.
AppSumo?
Yeah, you said there's some things going on over there.
Yeah, I think they're having a sale this week. It's
It
like an
looks like they are.
AppSumo.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's like an AppSumo Plus or AppSumo sale, AppSumo Days. Like they snuck it in. Um, like I said, I got an email about it the other day.
Yeah, so at the time of this live stream, it is 2 days left for their plus day. And so you can see some of the things that they are offering there. We have been taking advantage of some really great AppSumo deals over the years. And if there is some software that you can get in on and get it as a lifetime deal, you may want to check that out. Just be careful. AppSumo is the crack for entrepreneurs. It is highly addictive. And for if you know any entrepreneurs who've been on and grabbed some stuff, you can talk to them about it, or you can chat with us about it. We'll let you know. But AppSumo is a great place to get deals on things. Some of the things that we've taken advantage of is kind of one of the systems we're using to stream right now, which is Restream. We got that on an AppSumo deal years ago. So there are some great deals if you're willing to look through them. They are many there. There are lots of deals there. So you just have to take your time and work through them. Uh, Anything that sparked your attention, Jerry?
Um, yeah. Well, speaking of AI, they had an AI app on there. Let me see if I can bring it up. What it is? That's a good question. There was one. It was another one of those that had it was like a multiple AI tool.
Okay.
Trying if I can find it. I think it might be Nilly AI is what it's called.
How do you spell it? Nily? I think I
Yep,
just saw it.
NILY, yeah.
Okay.
So it says streamline workflows with 20 plus AI models.
There we go. NILY AI, and that's on AppSumo. And looks like, streamline 20 workflows with 20 AI models. Um, and so again, the deal starts at $59 for one tier. And then at two tiers, you can bring your own key. So it'll work with your own key. So it'll cost you actually less the more you use it if you have your own API keys from the large language model that you're using, whether that be Open AI or that be any of the others. So anyway, these are this is just one tool. If you're looking to use AI and have a good access to many of the different ones, there are plenty out there, but AppSumo is a good place where you don't have to pay monthly if you grab the deal. So if you need something like that, you want something like that, and you're really looking to dive into AI, that is something you guys should definitely check out. With that, I believe that when it comes to learning the AI and how to use it, I think how you learn is important. And I think sometimes, depending on your learning style, um, learning one at a time may be better for some than others, because a lot of times there's so much to learn and so much to do, we can get overwhelmed, and we can only absorb as as much technology is out there. We can only absorb so much information at so fast, right? So as much as we want to, wish we could act like it was the Matrix, and they hit the button and we all of a sudden learn everything there is to learn about a certain subject, we cannot do that yet. And as much as AI can do, we can still only absorb so much at one time. So um, if having one is better for you, then just stick with one. If you have access to a few already, this could be save you some money and it could help you out. So check out that deal on AppSumo. All right, man. Listen, that's what I have for this week, bro. Let me know if there's anything else you want to cover, and if not, we will call it a show.
Nah, I'm good, man. I think we're good to go.
Yes, sir. Well, listen, I want to thank you guys for tuning in for another exciting week of Technology Tuesday. If you use any of our resources or tools, let us know. We'd be happy to share some more with you guys. Make sure you join the group at technologytuesday.com. Until next week, Take care.